Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Ben here. Just checking in with you today. I just drank two and a half big ass bottles of Nam Kratom, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty nice right now. I've actually had a bit of a shitty day. I was meant to go to jiu-jitsu earlier, but I actually kind of had a almost an anxiety attack before I went. Um, I'm going to this gym right now in Bangkok where, in order to get to the place, you've got to go up an elevator, and then just the layout of this building gives me anxiety. You can't actually see the gym when you walk in there. And actually, there's an Irish bird who is like the receptionist. And I went there, the first time I went there when I was really fucking nam kratomed up and basically made a fool out of myself. I looked like a fucking autiste. I was saying some autistic shit. And for me, I really struggle with my empathy and just my creative mechanism in my brain when I'm nam kratomed up is just terrible. It just doesn't exist. And I said some awkward shit, and basically I've just been scared to go every single time since. I've just been praying people won't talk to me and I can just do jiu-jitsu. It's not bad with men. Like, I don't give a fuck about like what other guys are saying. I can kind of just play it off and just be humble. Like, being humble works wonders in social conversations if you're not pretending to be some fucking alpha male, the king of the party type of guy. You can just play your position like a soldier. But when I start talking with birds, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes talking with birds, I feel uncomfortable on a Tuesday. Like, talking with hot chicks, it kind of can freak me out a little bit. So when I start drinking Nam Kratom, it gets even worse. And there was a time when I went to a gi jiu-jitsu class, and I fucking saw the Irish bird who I'd made a fool out of myself in front of, and I was Nam Kratomed up again, and I just said some awkward shit. And since that day, I've kind of been avoiding that bird like the plague, because it was literally like I was being an awkward motherfucker. And shit, yeah, I haven't really enjoyed going back there. And just the layout of this building, I feel anxious just walking through the door. And there was a gym in Bangkok called Bangkok Fight Lab, and that gym was fucking awesome. And I wish I just went back there. The coach is a guy called Tyler, who's a brown belt under Craig Jones. I should have just put my nose to the grindstone at that gym, but I've been piss farting around going to all these other gyms. The guy who works on the reception at that gym is just a Thai guy. So even if I went there nam kratomed up, it wouldn't really be a big deal. But this place, I haven't really gone very much, and fucking hell, it's just a bit annoying. And it just makes me think, there have been two things which have really affected my productivity over the last year. Really a lot. Now, just to fill you in, basically, when I was young, say 19, 20, I was really big into the male fitness. I was an absolute gym rat. I didn't have the gains of a gym rat. I didn't have big arms, but I made a lot of progress, at least with the weights, and I was ripped to fucking shreds. I was absolutely ripped. I was ripped as a motherfucker. I could go in a dark room and still have a visible six-pack. I was fucking ripped. And basically, what happened is after one initial period of gains and years of lifting, I basically hit a permanent plateau. Like, in order for me to bench 100 kilos, I had to pray for a miracle. God gave me a miracle when I benched 100 kilos. Because I was the quintessence of a hard gainer. Like, I had friends who were 20 stone, and I would eat twice as much in the day as they would. They said to me, multiple people said this to me, I've never seen a human eat as much as you do. And what did I get for, like, after I ate, like, thousands of pounds worth of food a year, eating the highest quality shit I could get, like Alaskan salmon that was caught on a fucking fishing line, like spending so much money on food, thousands of hours in the gym, thousands of hours in the kitchen. My gains, when I was in Australia working in a warehouse, people would literally ask me, Ben, have you ever exercised before? Do you even lift? They would literally ask me that verbatim. And I thought, just knowing how much grind had to go into this shit, having people ask me, have you ever exercised before? Do you ever go to the gym? That was such a fucking kick in the testicles. That was so shit. I was thinking, why the fuck am I even going to the gym if there's no clear evidence for this shit? Now, we do live in a skewed world. Like, probably if I was living 150 years ago and I had the same body, I'd probably look really decent. But with Instagram and all this shit, the perception has changed, and perception is reality, as they say. And basically, after a few other experiences, namely when I went to get my testosterone checked, and it was in the 300s, I actually spoke to a testosterone clinic, and they said they couldn't put me on testosterone because my testosterone was normal. And I said, all right, well, it may be normal, but is it optimal? And, obviously, I don't actually think I said that on the phone, but that's probably what I'd say now, because it evidently wasn't. My confidence was low, I was scared of my own shadow, and the fucking gains in the gym were absolute shit. And I basically decided to hop on testosterone. Initially, I was injecting like 200 to 250 milligrams a week. And honestly, like, I'll be real with you. Obviously, it's only been a year since that day, but I do not regret that decision at all. I wish I'd hopped on it when I was like 22, like probably a year and a half sooner. Like, I instantly started seeing gains in the gym, even though in the bodybuilding sphere, like, 250 milligrams is not seen as a lot. Some people would say that's like barely above TRT doses. So, but still, it was fucking amazing, and I really don't regret that decision. But actually, there was something before I hopped on testosterone that was really near and dear to my heart, and that is actually NoFap and semen retention. The longest I've ever gone is a 65-day streak, which I actually ended on my birthday in 2021 during lockdown, during the scamdemic. I thought I'd treat myself on my birthday, and I just fucking spanked the monkey to some, I think it was some Japanese porn or just some Asian porn. Yeah. I wasn't even stroking my Johnson, but after 65 days without spanking the monkey, I literally almost had a hands-free orgasm. So that was fucking mad. But NoFap and semen retention was really near and dear to my heart. There have been times where I've gone on a streak before, and literally, like, I've had girls, like groups of girls, come up to me and tell me that their friend thinks I'm fine as hell. Like one of them will be talking with me, and then all the birds will start walking away, and then their friend will point to the bird who was just talking to me, and they'll say, oh yeah, she finds you fine as hell. And I attribute that to the NoFap and semen retention and the endorphins after jiu-jitsu. But if I spank the monkey, like, if I fucking masturbate to a shitload of porn, like, the birds the next day will look straight through me like I've got Harry Potter's cloak on. Like, I'm invisible, literally. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If you're on a high frequency, Birds can feel that shit. We are perceptive creatures, and birds especially, they can feel your internal emotions. They really can. I swear on my life. If I'm in a good mood after jiu-jitsu, I have the female attention compared to before is fucking chalk and cheese. The birds can feel that shit. And semen retention and nofap was really near and dear to my heart. But as a lot of people know, during when you go on gear, especially testosterone derivatives, they cause your testicles to atrophy. A lot of people think your penis atrophies and gets smaller. That's not true. But your nutsack really does get smaller. My nutsack is probably half the size it once was. And I actually think this is pure bro science, but my God, no fap and semen retention is a lot harder on gear, but also I actually think that the spiritual gains that you see on a big ass semen retention streak, like the clarity of mind, you just don't have it when you're on gear. And actually, when I'd retain my nut for weeks on end, like a month at a time, easy, like I could see what I wanted to do with my life, and I was taking actionable steps towards it every day. Like I went to so much jiu-jitsu during that time, it was easy because I was in a really high frequency. Like I literally didn't feel any shyness whatsoever. I could talk with people and feel nothing. I felt so stable when I was on a long ass streak. I still would bust nuts after a month though. And that's kind of fucked my productivity up. Like, before, the funny thing is, I got better at jiu-jitsu the moment I hopped on gear. I could not take somebody down for shit when I was natural, but the moment I started getting on gear, my takedowns tripled, probably quadrupled. Like, I never knew how to do a single leg and how to literally even grab the leg. When I was natural, I just couldn't do it. But now, like, I can do that fucking easily. Like, I can pull off a single leg takedown, especially if the person I'm going up against isn't the best. I'll really be taking them down a lot. Like, I never got an ankle pick takedown when I was natural, but now I can pull them off easy. So I honestly think getting your testosterone fix can change how you think and how you act and the ability to do things that you're thinking about. I've seen it firsthand. There's no, in my experience, there's no debate about it. I got better at jiu-jitsu the moment I went on gear. So that's probably why gear shouldn't be legal in the UFC. At least if some people are natural, they shouldn't be fighting people that are enhanced. No way. Because it's not just these people aren't just getting stronger. The way that they see the world and the things they can execute are completely different. But that's also turned me into a fucking, like, busting all these nuts because my testosterone's so high. Like, it's still bad for me. Like, if I bust a nut, I'm just a lot worse in social situations. Especially when I mix it with the second thing, which has kind of fucked my productivity up. And that is Kratom. Now, Nam is actually the Thai word, at least to my knowledge, for water. And Kratom is a plant from Thailand that the blue-collar working class take. Especially people like farmers. I've seen police officers drink this shit. A lot of working people will drink Nam Kratom, especially because the money in Thailand is shit. Like, if you're making £5 an hour in Thailand, you're seen as a fucking baller. I think you are. I really think you are. If you're making £10 an hour in Thailand, you're balling out of control. Seriously. So these people are getting paid shit money, but the thing that gets them through it is the Nam Kratom. And for me, I know these people are working their jobs and they're socializing all day, and maybe it's different for them, but for me, Nam Kratom, it does bring my mood up, and it can sometimes bring my energy up, and it does help me sleep better, and it does stabilize my mood when I'm on some negative shit. but it also turns me into a fucking couch potato. Seriously, I can be content as a mofo just scrolling on Twitter or watching YouTube videos. If I've got enough kratom, I'll literally sit down all day and do jack shit. And that's coming from a guy who is literally like putting my nose to the grindstone every day back in the UK and in Australia. If you're suffering from depression, I think you should take Nam Kratom instead of SSRIs. But still, you gotta take this shit in moderation. This shit at jiu-jitsu has made me so awkward. Literally so fucking awkward sometimes. These two put together, busting nuts and drinking Nam Kratom, have fucked my productivity up this year. I've only, in the last year, been to jiu-jitsu 80 times. Now, I also was doing a shitload of weightlifting, so that also has kind of affected the schedule. And I don't regret the weightlifting at all. Like, I've made some serious gains. Serious. Like, multiple people now have asked me if I do sports and have commented. Like, I saw some drunk fucking fat white dudes in a McDonald's, and they weren't the cool kind. They were like the kind who are rude to Southeast Asian people. They were being rude to the fucking McDonald's workers, pissed out of their heads. And I thought they were going to say some cheeky shit to me. But literally, when they saw me, I had a tank top on, and one of the guys said to me, "You're quite jacked." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks." And literally at jiu-jitsu, people ask if I play rugby. People have asked me for my workout routines. So gear, it really does work. Once I get to about 110 kg, I actually was shocked when I saw that I was 100 kilos. I thought that was going to take me years to get there, but being on D-ball, I fucking put that weight on quick, and it wasn't water weight, because I haven't taken it in ages, but I haven't really lost much mass. Like, some people get tremendous water weight on D-ball, but I really don't. But I'm not trying to look like I'm on gear. I would just want to look aesthetic for the birds. I literally don't even care. I'm lifting because I want to be strong. I want to be big, but I also want to get birds. So I don't want to get too much bigger. But yeah, Nam Kratom and busting nuts from testosterone and the atrophy of my testicles. It's hard feeling the spiritual effects of semen retention when your nutsack is the size of two grapes. When your nuts are small, bro, you don't feel that clarity in your brain. You don't have that ambivalence towards sex, which is so powerful. When women know that you don't give a fuck about their sex and they've lost their main power, they are curious about you. Like, especially if you take care of yourself. But sure enough, soon when I go back to Australia, there is no Nam Kratom out there, so I really think that'll be good. I might actually have to avoid Thailand because I know how like unproductive I get when I'm drinking Nam Kratom. And in Thailand, Nam Kratom is everywhere. And I literally think I could get addicted to any of the major vices, gambling, heroin, all of this shit. If I got addicted to it, I'd be hooked. And as a guy with a predisposition towards addiction, I don't think Thailand's the place for me to be when I'm trying not to take Nam Kratom. But it is nice if you're on a holiday and you're just chilling. It is far nicer than booze. I haven't had a drink of booze in months, and I'm in Thailand, but I have no desire to. Like, the thought of it makes me feel sick. Alcohol is literally poison. Alcohol is way worse. Like, it's crazy that magic mushrooms are illegal and frowned upon, but booze and tobacco isn't. People say, oh yeah, Nam Kratom's killed 60 people since 2014. We got to ban this shit. Well, how much more has fucking booze and tobacco taken. How many more have died from that shit? Probably about a fucking 10 million times as many. Literally, bruv. Oh my god. Such bullshit artists. They should just legalize drugs the world over. Seriously, the majority of countries didn't even have a war on drugs until the US said that they were going to put tariffs on countries who didn't have them. And that's why there's a fucking drug laws in every country on earth. So that's fucking bullshit. If the US legalize all drugs tomorrow, the black market, the actual criminals who deserve to be in prison, people who fuck people's families up, like, they would have no power. It would be safe. People wouldn't have to do all this dodgy shit and get all their dodgy ass drugs. And you wouldn't have people fucking keeling over and dying from fentanyl. Literally, bruv. They should just legalize all drugs. I personally think if someone wants to get heroin the fuck up, if they have the means and they're not going to go robbing money out of their grandma's purse or robbing other people, I think people should be allowed to take heroin until they drop. Seriously, until they kick the bucket. But, fucking hell, that's a ways off. Most countries don't even have magic mushrooms legal. When I think, unless you're predisposed to, psychiatric problems. My grandma's schizophrenic. She was schizophrenic. Mental illness runs in my family. And edibles and marijuana have left me feeling like my fucking sanity's hanging on by a horse's hair. But magic mushrooms agree with me psychologically. And I love how they make me feel. Like, they help me to see my problems from an outside perspective and put it all into perspective. And it really helps to free the mind. But some would say there's a war on consciousness, so fuck, I hope they legalize mushrooms at least. They should be legal. Weed is bad for you. It's bad for a lot of people. People talk about weed like it's this thing that, doesn't pose any problems and it's all good. But I think weed fucks a lot of people up. It makes you just ambivalent and lazy for a lot of people, but it also can trigger a shitload of mental illness, especially edibles. Holy shit, edibles are intense. But yeah, this is the end of this video, guys. If you watched to the end, thank you very much. Consider subscribing, eh? Alright, thank you.